Hi, my name is Tyler Romero. My video will be focusing on cognition development during adulthood and focusing more specifically on early adulthood. The three concepts that I will be discussing in this video will be first, the mental effects of being initiated into adulthood, and then the next two will fall under Perk's ethical development theory. I will be interviewing Luke Engelbert, who is almost 22 and is about to enter his last year at a 4-year university. When do you consider yourself to have entered adulthood?
I considered myself to be an adult when I turned 18.
What made you feel like at that age you had transitioned into adulthood? In other terms, what changed at that time?
When I turned 18, it's when I legally became an adult in the United States, and I could be legally tried and prosecuted as an adult, but also had other responsibilities, for example, voting.
How do you think that these changes in your life have helped you to act in a more adult-like manner?
I was given a lot more responsibility when I turned 18. Some of them social responsibilities like voting, but another big thing that happened is I moved out of my parents' house to go to college, and moving out of my parents' house was a big step for me or a big step into adulthood, because I actually had to take care of myself and act more like an adult than I could under my parents' roof.
Mr. Engelbert was able to demonstrate how being able to be a part of democracy helped him to make the transition from thinking of himself as a child to thinking of himself as an adult. The responsibility of being an adult when he turned 18 has helped him to mature and prevented him from rebelling. This only enhanced when he turned 21. The next concept that we will look at is Perry's theory of intellectual and ethical development. A little reminder that Perry's model was used to understand the process that college students go through in order to be able to come up with their own opinions. Has any of your morals or ethics or ideologies changed since moving out of your parents' house?
Yeah, one of the main things that's changed is my political ideology. I came from a very liberal household, and I was really only exposed to one type of political ideology. But upon leaving, or moving out from under my parents' roof and moving to college, I was exposed to a lot more and different political ideologies, and I've found that I've actually trended more towards conservatism since leaving my parents' household.
How do you feel like you got to this position?
I feel like I came to this decision because, when I was growing up, I was exposed to a lot of political ideologies under my parents' roof. But upon moving out for college, I was exposed to a bunch of different types of different ideologies, and I found that a different type of political ideology, more conservative thought, kind of was more congruent with a lot of the ideas that I personally held, and that was, why I kind of chose to change my political ideology on this.
Mr. Engelbert was able to show the process he went through in deciding that he was a part of the Republican Party. He didn't start this process until he had really left for college, leaving his family. He showed that before he left for college, he was in a dualism category. However, when going through college, he was able to commit himself to a position that best suited his morals. He was able to highlight on some of the positions he had gone through along the way, such as position 4 and 6 in Perry's view. The next concept that I will focus on is the stage interruptions in Perry's theory. Is there a part of your life that you feel you haven't been able to form your own individual opinion on?
Yeah, I guess one thing that would speak to that is kind of in my life of religion. I grew up in a very Catholic household, and going to church and going to a private Catholic high school growing up. I was kind of immersed within that, which didn't give me a huge choice. But upon leaving my Catholic education and kind of finding some independence. I found that there were parts of religion that I personally really didn't like, but also I kind of understood the purpose and the good like the good things that come out of religion. So while I really grew up with it, I now am not really very clear where I stand on Catholicism, but also like religions as a whole, because I see both the goods and the bad.
Would you be able to elaborate more on where you stand on religion?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I grew up very Catholic, and that let me see a lot of the good parts of religion, but since kind of, I stopped going regularly to church and doing, a lot of the religious activities that I used to. I just kind of have, I don't really have a certain, view or stance. For me, there's like no really certain answer for religion. But like I do see both the good and the bad parts of it. So I mean, I don't want to trash religion. It's just I'm uncertain.
Mr. Engelbert was able to demonstrate the escape stage interruption in Perry's theory. He used to be in the dualism stage when living under his parents' roof. However, when he got to college and learned about the other perspectives on religion, he didn't know where he stood anymore. And he didn't know what was the correct answer. He showed that he got to stage 4 his freshman year, however, has not really moved since. That concludes our video interview. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a lot. Bye!